we go.
Hello, hello.
Yes.
Hello, Chattanooga. Hello, the world.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Charlie.
Hello, James. Lovely to see you.
Good to see you too. So, hello and welcome to the Chattanooga FC pregame live show. It's
That's it.
presented by Workshop. I'm James Dawson.
I'm Charlie Milburn. We are coming to you live from the beautiful, glorious, prestigious CFC offices as we prepare to take on the New York Cosmos tonight, 7:30 Eastern. It's our first home game back. And our first game back, our first as professionals with fans in the stands, limited number of fans, but I think I can speak for James, who's raising the roof. We're all feeling a little bit excited about that. Wouldn't you say, James?
Absolutely. And, even being at 25% capacity with Fort Finley, you're still going to see a great draw. And it's something just like the level of intentionality the club has taken to protect folks, and just the protocols that are in place so that we can have a safe time while enjoying this game that we love, supporting the team we've supported for so long. I think tonight's just going to be a wonderful celebration of soccer for the Scenic City. If you can't make the game, which there's still time, go ahead and tune in. It's going to be on My Cuju TV. But for everyone coming out to Fort Finley to cheer on the boys in blue, thank you so much. And if you can't, again, just tune in with us online with mycuju.tv.
That's right. Now, as James said, there's still time to get down there, get down to Fort Finley. If you do decide to make the last-minute trip, though, just know there's not going to be a ticket booth there open on at Finley Stadium. So you're going to need to get your tickets online at cfctix.com. That is cfctix.com. And so that way you will have it. It is a touch-free environment. You'll have your QR code. Present it, they'll scan it, you're in, just like that. So we have got a fantastic show today. In addition to James and I going over the last game we played, and looking forward to the Cosmos, we also have midfielder Alec Mckinley on. We're going to be giving you a sneak peek of tonight's starting 11 and a whole lot more. So stick around with us, won't you?
Absolutely. And Alec he's been fun to watch. I appreciated seeing him. I think it was the first game of the year. He had that cross-field ball to Richard Dixon, who played it in for Ian McGrath's first goal, and it was art. I mean, we're talking about corner to corner with that one.
70 yards in the air. Drew Rain landed on a postage stamp. You could not have done it better.
And his first professional game.
That's true. Hey, no big deal.
No big deal. It's a coming out party. Good for him. So before we start, we want to give a big shout out to our friends over at Vibrant Meals. They provide fantastic, ready-to-eat, delicious, real food. It's all made from scratch, which I thought was something. A lot of people, the pre-packaged, but they're made from scratch. It's portion controlled to meet your lifestyle. Even saying that out loud, I am reminded I have a gift card for some Vibrant Meals. So what I need to do and what you can do if you want to check them out, it's myvibrantmeals.com. They're wonderful people. Go ahead and reach out to them if you're interested in that kind of thing. They're awesome.
Yeah, spectacular. They've been longtime fans and supporters of CFC, so please show them a little bit of love. We also want to give a shout out to our friends literally next door to us. If you know where the CFC offices are, ESPN Chattanooga, yeah, they're right over there. ESPN Chattanooga Radio, 105.1 The Zone. So please check them out. Great local coverage, great sports. The guys know the market. They've been around for ages. And if you did not know, which you should know, every Wednesday at 4:20 in the PM is the CFC segment. So there's always a coach, a player. You're going to learn something new about CFC. So check them out. 105.1 FM if you live in Chattanooga. If you don't, ESPNChattanooga.com. That's where you go to check them out.
That is fantastic. So you can actually listen in every day and get a segment from CFC?
Wednesdays. Every Wednesday is CFC.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday at 4:20.
get you over the hump. And probably this coming up Wednesday, we can talk about the game we'll have.
Absolutely. There'll be a lot to talk about.
We'll talk about this victory we're going to have tonight, and then, the game coming up. So in our previous match, we hit the road. We went up to Detroit, and we took on the frenemies of the North, I guess we're saying. It was a great win. It was a 2-0 win with a fantastic goal. Charlie and I were talking about this earlier. Ian McGrath headed the ball on to Zeka. Zeka headed the ball on to Darwin Lom. And it was just a tidy chip around the keeper for the finish. Caught him on their heels. 4th minute. Darwin runs over to the corner, and he's pointing at his watch. He's like,
right.
How long is this game been going? We're already up. Charlie, what do you think about the match?
To me, that was a huge signature match for us. It's always a tough battle when we go up to Detroit. Usually there are fans in the stands, and their fans are second only to the Chattanooga and the magic that is Finley Stadium.
That's right.
Gotta say that. They have, they've got the big smoke screens that they make their players play through, and probably some COPD that comes from that. But regardless, it's a tough place to play, is what I'm trying to say. We've always had a really, really good battle with them. And they had not played any NISA action before that match. We had played against Michigan Stars, and so I think that they were a little bit flat. I think everyone would say that. Detroit City was. Luckily, we had our sea legs under us, proverbially speaking, so to speak, and we were able to bring home the victory. Huge 3 points. Great way to start off the NISA fall season. And it's definitely something to build on. And it was great to see Darwin get that goal. He had featured with us a couple of years ago, and he's Guatemalan national, played on their national team. And to not to tip our hand too much, but I think we might be seeing a little bit more of that Zeka Darwin partnership. James, what did you think about the game?
I mean, I thought anytime you're playing away, and people I've read, Charlie and I were on the social media channels as well. And, being away, it's not the same without the fans. You don't have that same lift. However, when you're the away team, you've been on a bus for 12 hours. You're staying at a hotel with who knows continental breakfast. You're out of sync and you're out of rhythm. And so when we can go into an away pitch, a typically very hostile place, and we can just put together a concise, clean sheet like that, I think you're right. First game, back for them. And I'm sure their coach was testing out players and seeing what he's got for the year. But definitely a good win for us. One I was happy to see up at the Northern Guard.
Northern Guard regarded. They were hanging back at home watching on My Kuju TV, just like the rest of us were.
That's right.
Yep, for sure. So yeah, it's a great 3 points. Great win for CFC. And then we had a couple of weeks off. Some of them were planned, some of them were not. But then it moves us into this next match against New York Cosmos. So James, tell us what you think about that.
Well, we're playing tonight against a familiar opponent for folks that have been CFC fans for a while. Finley Stadium's never been so full, aside from the times we've seen, the women's and men's national team play here when we hosted the New York Cosmos in what was an incredible semifinal event and national championship event versus the New York Cosmos. Obviously, we wanted the victory there. So there's a little bit of a historical chip on the shoulder coming into this match. I don't know if there's as much for these players who might not have been there. Obviously, Zeka in the lineup would have been there, and so he would remember, and I'm sure talk the guys up to remind them what tonight's all about. But it's going to be great to have fans out for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be the first time that we've played in front of fans at home since becoming a professional club, and in almost a year, which is crazy to
Wow.
think about. Yeah, and so Zeka was in that game in 2015. I think Juan might have been in that game as well. I'm sure the fact checkers, I'm sure Caniglio and Breezy and those
Right,
guys
right,
will let
right.
us know if my memory is correct or not. But yeah,
Tweet us.
yeah, that's right. Tweet us at chattanoogaFC.com. Let us know how good our memory was. But you know what? Let's take a look at not that game from 2015. Let's take a look at the highlights from the last time that we met the Cosmos at Fort Finley last year.
Okay.
Beautiful stinger from Zeka. There will be a minimum of 3 minutes at a time.
Wow. So much fun. And it's so cool to hear that ambient noise with the Chattanooga, those drums beating, and can't wait to get just a little slice of that back tonight. So, but that was actually a year ago, almost a year ago. Chattanooga last faced New York Cosmos September 28th, 2019. That was the 2019 NPSL Members Cup. So that was before both teams joined NISA. But we fell. We actually lost that game 1-3 to the Cosmos. And prior to that, we lost earlier in the year 0-1 to the Cosmos on August 10th, 2019. So just about 6 weeks before then. So we haven't been on the winning side of these matches, but hopefully things are a little bit different. What are your thoughts on tonight's match?
I mean, you named it. We've got a chip on our shoulder. I mean, you lose twice to a team in a span of 30 days last year. And forget the historical matches where guys would have had to play a long time to remember. The Cosmos, they were here last year, and they put it on us. We're not going to give anything away yet with our lineup, but we're going to play a lineup tonight that's going to want to take the attack to them. And I'm going to be very interested just to see how them playing away from home approach the game. They're a team that, from watching their highlights from this season, has been able to control possession. And so, will they try and pin CFC back and leave us in a situation where we're simply counterattacking? I think that we're going to be able to absorb that pressure with what we've seen out of our back line. However, I think this is an opportunity for us to come out on the front foot, put some pressure on, try and get that goal early, and then maintain some possession if we're able to. What do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, I think that's smart, and I definitely think that's something that we're going to have to look out for. Another thing which I think is going to be interesting to watch is to see how they're going to bounce back from when they last played. They only played on Wednesday. They played on Wednesday against Detroit City. They drew 0-0, so then they have to turn around and come back down here and play us in front of fans. So my hope is that those legs might be a little tired, and that they're two back-to-back matches like that will give us a little bit of an edge.
Were they away for that game?
That's a great question. Let me just check that real quick.
Just curious if they've been on the road for a while, because that's a great point.
They were at home. They were
okay.
in Long Island, to where they play.
Long Island. Well, a 0-0 with the team we just recently beat 2-0. It's obviously not indicative of any expectation for tonight. So let's go ahead and transition then into tonight. Let's talk a little bit about the lineup we're going to put on the field. And Charlie, I'm going to go through who we're going to have lining up, and I'm going to be curious for your thoughts on how you think this formation is going to play together, because we haven't seen this formation in its entirety yet this year. So in goal, we've got Alec Reddington, who's been fantastic the entire season. Sean Russell, Nick Spellman, and Richard Dixon. Juwan Laidley. We've got Ryan Marcano, Juan Hernandez, David Coloco, Sean Hofstaffer, Darwin Lam, as you mentioned earlier, paired up with Zeka up top. So it looks like a 3-5-2. What are your thoughts on this, Charlie?
Well, there's some things that I definitely like, and I think there's some things that we're gonna need to look out for. The first things that I like, we've got some familiarity both at the back of the field and both up front. Alec Reddington, he and Matt Maziski have kind of split time, but Alec has definitely had his share of games. That three of Sean Russell, Spielman, and Dixon, particularly Spielman and Dixon, because I think they have either played or started in every single game that we played this year. And Sean Russell, of course, is the new addition, but he saw a lot of action in the last game that we played against Detroit City. So they've definitely got some chemistry back there, and we've seen what they could do. We saw a 2-0 shutout up in Detroit, so we're hopefully that's going to continue here. I really like Joanne Laidley and Ryan Marcano on the wings as wingbacks there. I think that's going to prove some interesting matchups, especially for the other team, especially with Joanne on that left-hand side. He's just so fast. Speed kills, as they say, and I think that could be a difference maker for us. The midfield is a little bit different. Coloco is relatively new with the squad. He's going to be playing in that kind of number 10 role. Juan is going to be over on the left-hand side. Hofstadter is going to be on the right. So that's going to be interesting. Hofstadter really hasn't played much for us, if at all, this year. I think he played in the first match for us at the very beginning of the year. But he's been out and is back from injury. So I'm really excited to see what he can do. And then Lam and Zeka up front, we saw what they did against Detroit, and they, Zeka is that master. He's just a wizard, and he is just able to get people into the right spots, get them the balls where they need to be, and just looking forward to see how they match up today. What about you? What do you think?
I'll tell you, I'm interested in seeing how the three in the center midfield come out, because as you mentioned, on paper you're looking at Juan coming out on the left side there. What I'm wondering is, will they have a Hofstaffer as a defensive center mid with Coloco and Juan Hernandez playing with more freedom in front of them as a reverse triangle? Or will you see Coloco, who's come out as a defender in other games, be paired back as a dual defensive center mid with Juan maybe sliding into the middle? I think it's going to probably depend, and I don't know if this is in coach's playbook, if we're getting pressured and we're back, sliding one of those back and allowing someone with the creativity like Juan Hernandez to play the outlet, who can quickly get a ball for a counterattack. Whereas if it's pretty even possession, I would expect to see two of those center midfielders playing up a little higher. But all in all, there's some people missing from this lineup that we've seen. Ian McGrath, who's been an absolute stalwart and goal machine. He's not in the lineup today with an injury, not on the bench as well. So we wish him a speedy recovery. But you named it, with speed killing. I mean, Ryan and Joanne, absolute wheels down the outside. Reminds me of Joao from last season. Would love to see some one-man fast breaks if we get a chance.
Sure. And you see that's what Fuller does, is he uses those wing backs almost as extra forwards in that side of the field. He plays them all the way up. And so we will see, Jawayne is going to be on that left-hand side, which is where Cam Woodfin usually plays. And, the ball kind of goes through those wing backs. And so we're going to see a lot of those crossing passes coming in from those sides. And so it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to see how they all match up.
Definitely looking forward to this. Now, earlier, Charlie, you mentioned that we would be joined by one of our CFC players. So who are we introducing tonight? It's Alec,
Absolutely.
correct?
Yes, that's right. Alec McKinley, midfielder for CFC. He had a great start of the season for us. He's currently out with a little bit of a minor injury, nothing too serious, and he'll tell us more about that. So without further ado, let's bring him on. Let's welcome Alec.
How's it going, guys?
Alec, how are you, my friend?
Good, you?
Doing fine. You've got James and Charlie here at the CFC offices.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. I guess tell us a little bit about what you have going on right now and what your status is.
Well, I just pulled up last week with a little bit of like a knee tweak. I'm hoping it's not too bad, but I'm going to get an MRI next weekend to find out exactly what's going on, and hopefully I'll be back on the field as soon as possible. We got a lot of injuries out, so we can't have any more.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So I guess maybe tell us just a little bit about your soccer journey. How did you get started playing soccer?
Well, I grew up playing soccer in South Florida, like West Palm Beach area, and that's where I actually met Fuller. He used to coach me when I was under 14, under 15. And then from there, I went to the Portland Timbers Academy, and I played for about 2 years there and didn't really work out too well. So then I came back to Florida. I took like a little bit of a gap year. Ended up going to the University of Mobile in the NAIA, where Fuller also used to coach. So he got me there, and then I did a year there, and then school wasn't really for me, and I wanted to just keep playing and be in that professional environment. So Fuller asked me to come here with him, and I didn't hesitate.
So, Alec, is this 1 year removed then from your year at Mobile?
Sorry?
So you were playing at Mobile, was that this last season? And
Yeah, that was this last
season.
season.
To CFC?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic. What would you say the differences have been from playing in a competitive college environment, from a training and a focus standpoint, to coming and playing with a professional club?
It's definitely just like a learning curve. Like you got to get used to the physicality, the seriousness of all the players, the veterans like Richard, Eric Panzer. I have a few there kind of trying to mold me, help me out a little bit. So I didn't really have that much in college. Where I was coming in, I was already 20 years old. I was a little bit one of the in between, but now I got all these older guys trying to guide me on the right path,
Do you have a story there? Do you have a story from this year where maybe somebody had to? Yeah, come on. I mean, you mentioned
sounds like there's a story there.
Richard, did you get your shirt grabbed, and talk to us about that?
I've gotten a few. Well, actually, from Brian Bement in particular. Okay. He can be a very aggressive guy on the field. And once I came in, even when I was on trial here, when I came just to train with the team and try out, I got a few battles with Brian because I was playing center back against him, up against me. And that's when I really learned I got to be more physical. I got to deal with, it's more than just the soccer. It's the physical side of it. It's huge. For sure.
So how is that, knowing Fuller? Was that how you ended up here at CFC from your run-ins with him during that college experience? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I went back to Florida after Portland. I didn't have much going on. I was trying to look for clubs to play for. And he actually got a hold of me because he heard I wasn't doing much and asked me if I wanted to go to University of Mobile and go play there. But so I did 1 year there and I really enjoyed it. We had a really good run in the national tournament. We won our conference tournament, everything. And I told him maybe I'll go back to school later or something. I wasn't too much of a student. And he said, feel free to come out here.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, Alec, the road to professional soccer in the United States, I would say, is very different from a lot of other countries from the development system standpoint. And hearing you share your story, you played club and you had Coach Fuller as a coach. You went
Mhm.
to the development program with the Portland Timbers. You came back. You tried college. Now you're playing professionally. So there's a lot of young players and players that might see this that are thinking through, hey, I'm good. What, advice would you give to, say, a young high school club player that's thinking about pursuing soccer?
I mean, all I would say is just keep working hard. I had my ups and downs at Portland. I got there and I was in the starting team and then out of it for a long time. Didn't have the best relationship with the coach at some points, and but so I had a little bit of a hard time there. But I just kept working, try to get back. Lost my confidence a little bit, but you just got to keep working. Whatever happens, all the bumps in the road, it just makes you stronger, more experience. Just keep working. That's the best advice I can give.
Yeah, always keep
Stay,
working. That's
stay
amazing
focused. Stay
advice.
focused. Mm.
Very cool. So what has it been like for you? I know this is a very atypical year, to say the least, but what has your CFC experience been like thus far?
It's been great so far. I mean, obviously with the whole Corona and all that, like put a real damper on things because I was looking forward to coming see the Chattanooga. Fuller had
Yes.
built it up so much for me. I was so excited. I had some friends who played here before, so I was just really excited for that. So that's been a little bit of a damper, but we have such a great like family bond on the team. We're all great friends. Everyone's good, so the experience has been great for me so far.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah,
we're gonna have fans out there tonight for the
yeah, I'm
first
excited.
time. It's not gonna be the same.
Mhm.
We're not gonna have the section 109 absolutely shaking the entire building, but
Yeah,
believe there's gonna be people yelling through pieces of paper.
I
You know,
can't wait. I can't wait.
we're gonna give it all we've got. So here's a question for you. You're a big soccer fan. Obviously, you've played your entire life. Who's your favorite team from a professional club level?
Manchester United has always been my favorite team. Always will be.
That's the right
Always.
answer. That's the right
Yeah.
answer,
Yeah.
Alec. Monday, buddy.
Big time. Big time. The league's back.
Oh, I
That's-
love that.
yeah, I thought you might like that. Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh gosh, I'm alone
Yeah.
in the room here. Got two
2-1,
Manchester United
baby.
fans, but that's all right. That's all right. What about other leagues? You have other teams you support? La Liga.
I went to when I was younger, around 15 years old. I spent a little bit of time in Holland playing soccer, like on trials there, trying out with some teams. And I spent some time with Feyenoord Rotterdam, like a
Mm,
big team in
yeah,
Holland. So that was where I experienced my first like real soccer experience,
yeah,
like the lifestyle over there and the atmosphere in the stadium was unbelievable. So I'll always follow them.
yeah. Very cool.
Always.
Former Manchester United player and Arsenal player, Robin van
Mhm.
Persie started
Yeah,
out there, I believe,
yeah,
before kind of jumping over to the Premier League. That's very cool.
hmm yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Alec. It was great speaking
Oh,
with you tonight. We wish you a speedy recovery. We can't wait to see you back out there on the pitch. And thanks for taking the time with us.
thank you very much. I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Take care.
Man, what a story. It's just, I think that is so good for folks to hear how atypical and untypical any professional soccer jersey journey is through
Jerseys
the
too.
jerseys through the US system. Through the US system, saw a 17-year-old show up to play in the second half for Barcelona in a friendly today who's from Miami. You know,
Wow.
the first American to play over there. But the journeys of these players to make it to the levels that they get to play at, it's an all-out will to fight, and it sounds like Alex got that. So looking forward to seeing him back out there. Following tonight's game versus the New York Cosmos, getting this W tonight. We're going to be back on Wednesday. So the same thing the Cosmos are coming off of with the Wednesday-Saturday game, we're going to have Saturday-Wednesday game. So 7 o'clock, we're taking on New Amsterdam FC. I cannot believe the next sentence I'm about to say, but this is our last game of the regular fall season.
Yeah.
Charlie,
I can't believe it.
How?
Just like that. It's like a dream. You wake up and it's gone. That's it. Just it's here and then it's gone. Yeah. But there will be tickets available for that. They're going to have a limited amount of fans in. Now, this is the makeup game from the postponement, which was August 29th.
That's right.
So if you had tickets to that August 29th game, they are good for this game. So please make that game. Show the guys your support. If you can't make that game, give your tickets away. Get people to the stands.
Yes.
Let everybody know this is the last time we're going to see the boys in blue in NISA fall play before they head up to Detroit for I think 2 weeks for a round robin tournament and then a knockout round, kind of a very condensed version of the Champions League. So that's going to be fun to see. But not to get too far ahead. Wednesday, make sure you're there.
And I don't know if you've seen the weather for this week. It's going to be beautiful.
Perfect.
So Wednesday night there's never been a better time. Sun's going down sooner. You'll get the lights, second half. Don't miss it. That's really all we've got for tonight. So don't forget, it's the Chattanooga FC versus New York Cosmos. It's going to be live at 7:30, which is only in 30 minutes on mykuju.tv. But get there in person. CFC Ticks with an X.com. You can still get them right now and get the QR code on your phone and come watch with us. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm James Dawson.
I'm Charlie Milburn signing off. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Go CFC.